welcome to Beans and Breakdowns, a podcast dedicated to bridging the gap between specialty coffee and the heavy music community. On this episode, I'm joined by Ben, Tony, and Max, the guys behind the Montreal Hardcore Collective. So grab a fresh cup of coffee and wake the fuck up! What's up, caffeinated crew? Today on the episode, we're joined by the Montreal Hardcore Collective, Max, Ben, Tony. What's good, fellers?
Not much.
Having some really good coffee.
Yeah. We're at the Crew Collective Cafe. We have the Montreal Hardcore Collective crew at the Crew Collective Cafe in Montreal. How do you like that?
Yeah.
Mind-blowing.
Fucking reciprocation. So let's go around the room. Let's start with Tony. Introduce yourself. What bands do you play with? And what is your favorite coffee?
All right. Well, what's up? I'm Tony. I play right now in category 514, Desecrate and Excess. My favorite coffee, pour over, Cortado.
Nice.
Those two.
That's the drink order.
Yeah. I think that's the main two drinks that have.
Apparently, 90% of the world thinks that. The recent group chats I've been in.
Must be right.
What's up?
Yeah, I'm playing in Harriers. I'm playing SS and Scaramanga. And I don't drink a lot of coffee, so right now I have a green tea, jasmine.
Nice.
It's very good.
This clears out the sinuses. I probably should have had a jasmine tea as well.
I'm Max. I play in Pro, and I am a big fan of filter coffee, actually. Yeah.
That's the easy one. If you want to test the shop, just be like, give me your filter coffee. And if the filter coffee is
Show me
shit,
what's good.
You're a shit cafe. If you have bad filter coffee. That's a hot take. We're already into the hot takes. For people who listen to the podcast and didn't just see MTL Hardcore Collective and click on this first episode, Max has been on the podcast before. Like he said, he plays in Pro. Yes. That was a fan favorite.
That was what?
That was a high ranking episode.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Nice.
It was up there.
A couple of my friends were like, "Yo, I've listened to it and I really enjoyed it."
I think it was like
that's great.
Top 5 or 6 actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
Stoked to hear it.
So maybe this one will be the same. I'll just put Max volume
Charts,
2,
bro.
Yeah.
and everybody will listen to it and be like, "What the hell is this?"
Just put Max.
Max 2.
So we're currently drinking some coffee. Like I said, they do traffic here at the Crew Collective. This is gonna fuck me up so bad. The Crew Collective Cafe. Max and I were drinking some filter coffee because we're basic bitches. Tony, what was something more extravagant?
Drinking oat milk cortado.
Is it good?
It's amazing. I'm almost done.
It's almost gone.
I'm like halfway through, but
That's
like
the blessing and the curse of a cortado.
exactly.
It's a four
good.
sip drink.
Exactly.
So good,
So
but
good though.
goes by fast.
How's that jasmine tea? You taste some
Very good.
like hibiscus notes or
Yeah. I taste that.
Flower notes,
just some
Plants.
very floral, very citrusy. Awesome. Well, cheers, guys. It's good to be
Cheers.
here with you all. What's your favorite cafe, Max? It hasn't changed.
It didn't change.
In the
It's
past
still
3 months.
Shaughnessy.
It's still Shaughnessy.
Yeah, that's still my go-to spot.
Ben, do you go to coffee? I know you don't drink coffee.
Yeah. I drink a lot of energy drink.
Oh.
I love energy drinks.
So you have crackhead energy.
Yeah.
Nice. Rock star. What's your favorite energy drink?
I drink a lot of Monster, Guru, more on the original side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you fuck with the matcha?
Not really.
No?
No. Sorry.
No, it's fine. There's no shame. If they made a coffee guru, I feel like it might be the flame because the matcha one's actually pretty good. So I think if they were to infuse coffee in whatever the fuck that drink is, it would be great.
Mm.
So it might put you on.
Yeah.
Like, you know how every high schooler drinks coffee now because in high school you drank Monster Javas?
Yeah.
Yeah, these were very popular.
Yeah. Every morning, every night. Java Monster.
That's
Just
crazy.
before
How we
sleep.
did die from cardiac arrest.
Before going to bed.
Tony, what's your favorite cafe in Montreal?
I actually have many,
Okay.
but I do really like this place called Antidote. It's a vegan restaurant, but they started off as a coffee shop / vegan grocery store, sort of. But I don't know. I just love the way they make their coffees, especially the cortados and cappuccinos too.
Nice.
Yeah.
I actually was looking at shops in that Hochelaga. It's on St. Catherine, right?
It's on Ontario Street.
Is it on Ontario?
It's right next by my place, so
Okay.
it's easy
Yeah.
for me to.
So I was looking at it recently, and I was like, that looks like an awesome spot. Because my wife and I were just looking at some different neighborhoods, like before we moved to another place. We're just scoping out. But Antidote looks really sick. Very bougie looking.
It's kind of like it's got this sort of like cottage vibe.
Yeah.
But it's also not really bougie, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, young people work there. And
Okay.
The owner's pretty young. I mean, I kind of know her. Like, she recognizes me every time I see her in the streets. Like, hey, how's it going, Tony?
It seems like it's often that happens.
Yeah. But that's the cool thing about Hochelaga, that we always see people,
Yeah. It's got like that quaint, like, neighborhood vibe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I live in the village, so it's not like that. It's usually like drunk people and zombies.
Yeah. Yeah, the good old village
I
area.
love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a cool area, though.
It reminds me of my hometown.
Oh, yeah?
Just drunk people and zombies.
What's your hometown?
It's in Georgia. It's Savannah, Georgia.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
But you can drink on the street, which is not normal for the U.S. So it's always just either drunk people like passing out on the street or people waking up being drunk from on the street.
Damn.
It's awesome.
Right. Shout out Savannah,
Shout out
Georgia.
Savannah. I miss it, but I also don't miss it. Love the vibe, hate the ignorance.
Yeah, I feel you.
We're here because of the Madhouse. This is what has brought us together. What is the Madhouse? How did it start? Why are you doing this?
Well, all right.
There was a lot of blame passing just now. Like,
I'll start it off, and Ben and Max can add to it. But basically, actually, on my side, it started because our friend John from Shutaway and Cruiserweight, new band, and fake. So basically, John told me that he had an idea about booking an all local fest in in the winter 2023, right? And then we kind of start talking about it to other people. I think I talked to Max about it, and Max told me that Ben had a similar idea. So,
my God.
so we all linked up together and started talking about it. Eventually, John let us do it because he was pretty busy. So we just took it from there. So I don't know what sparked John, but I can, I think we all have the same ideas behind it. But I'll let Ben.
Yeah. For me, it was I wanted to do a big last show for areas. So I was looking what's the best option to do it. And I think it would be a whole local show, like everyone there and just having good time. So
yeah,
that's what.
like a party, like
Yeah.
a farewell party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Tony said, he was like, hey, I have this idea for like doing a fest in Montreal, like all local bands. And I was like, oh, so like you spoke with Ben, and he was like, oh, no, I didn't. I was like, oh, so you guys need to talk to each other. And then we just, like he said, just
Yeah, it kind of became
Snowballed.
kind of became something else. I feel like just all of our heads together. And just it kept getting sort of bigger. I would say, it became this. I think it's definitely gonna happen again. I think this is gonna work pretty well. And
wait until it's the first year is done.
yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Don't talk too fast, of course.
I mean, well, first, great minds think alike, so this is really cool. I think the Montreal scene, just as somebody who's not been like in since 2018, basically, is when I got here. Like seeing where Montreal is at right now, and I've talked to Max about this. I've talked to actually John, not Donnelly, but the other one from Shutaway, Aussie John.
Oh yeah,
Aussie John, as we all call him.
and probably you talked about it to Tom too.
Oh yeah, with Tom too. I think every single fucking person that's been on here. But yeah, it's Montreal seems to have like there's like this like hot energy that's like making all these bands come out. Every band is fucking awesome. It's not just like the same style either. You have bands like Cloned that we've talked about, Cloned Apparition. But even bands that were, pre-pandemic, you have bands that are kind of like Prowl, Death Nap. Even Harriers, I've talked to people before I moved here, or when I moved here, I was like, who are the hardcore bands? Harriers is always the name that comes up. And what's the Kosovo? Is the second one that I always got. And then also, was it Omega that was like a bigger band? But they were gone by the time I moved here.
Yeah, that was a while ago. I was in that band.
You were in that band?
Yeah,
Were you in every Montreal hardcore band?
Yeah.
That made like a no.
How old are you, bro?
Like
No.
He was at a certain point. He was.
At a certain point, I was in all the bands.
Were you also in Nuke?
Yes,
Obviously,
Indeed.
dude.
Violent State.
yeah.
Deja More? No, you weren't in Deja.
No. Lots of bands. Let's just put it that way.
What is it like to carry the Montreal scene on your back?
I try not to, And that's one of the things I said when we did that first hardcore show after, the lockdowns and everything last year, the Under the Bridge show. And I said to people, I played in 3 bands. There were 4 bands. I was playing in 3 bands on that lineup.
Yeah.
And I said to people, just start your own bands because, it can't just be me.
Yeah.
We need more bands.
It worked out though.
Yeah, I did. I think that resonated
Looks
with
like it worked.
because I was there with a band that I was trying to start up, which turned into something else. And I was like, see, there needs to be bands because this dude played in 3 fucking bands, but all of them slapped. So it was like, this is going to be cool. We really need to get our shit together. And I think a lot of people that were actually at that show I've talked to, and they were like, yeah, I met like 3 people at that show that I started playing music with. And shouts out to the case of Modelo's, R.I.P., that flew through the air. And
Yeah.
rest in peace. Yeah, I mean, that show specifically, I think, sparked what's happening now because that got big. And I think a number of ways online from videos. People are like, Category 514 at Under the Bridge.
That said was our first show and was kind of completely over the top. I've never seen that.
With the fireworks and shit like that?
Fireworks the whole time. And like, there was just so many people. And the pit was just nonstop. It was just like, what's going on?
That was fun. Yeah, that was fun. Well, that's fucking great. I have been saying to people like Montreal needs its thing. It needs that fest because Hold Your Ground looked awesome, but it was a lot of kind of outer towners. And we've got such a vibrant scene here in Montreal that I really think that this can snowball and grow into something that's going to be carried out. Like I know fests like Outbreak started this way, where it's just giving locals a space. And it's just kind of word of mouth and videos especially. So shout out Spencer for coming out to that as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be
Stoked
sick.
to have him.
You just wanted to get involved so that you could bring scoped exposure
Exactly.
to film.
Exactly, dude. You got it right.
Nail on the head.
I mean, when we came out with the fest, like Spencer was like, yo.
That seems to be his intro message always. Yo.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I saw it, I was like, this is fucking stupid. So, because John Donnelly was the one who told me about it. I was like, this is going to be crazy.
Yeah, very excited for you.
Yeah. So, thanks for doing all of this. This is fucking sick.
Thanks for the response. Like we,
Yeah.
I don't know. People seem so like into it and have been very supportive about this whole thing, and because we didn't know what to expect too. We were just like, yo, let's bring all these bands from here together. Like, let's, I don't know, just like give a platform to everyone kind of thing. Just like put everything together. And yeah, people seem to be very happy about that too. So we're just like, let's do it.
That's cool.
Yeah, the whole thing is that Montreal has such an amazing scene, you know what I mean? And it's, I don't think we've ever had a fest in Montreal, you know, like with a bunch of big bands, you know, out of town bands and stuff like that.
Right.
And while it's a cool thing to do, because you want to bring bands from all around, and it's really cool to support all the cool bands everywhere and let people in your town, you know, see those bands. But the Montreal scene is so cool right now. Like all the bands are just making it so cool, and all the kids are showing up at all the shows too. So shout out to all the bands, but also shout out to everyone showing up at literally every show.
Yeah.
Every Montreal hardcore show. Like we're booking like local shows after local shows, and people are showing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like selling out cabaret, like on a local show. That shit's crazy.
Yeah, it's really cool. I don't think it's been, you know, even remotely like that for a long time. I don't know how long, but I haven't seen that in a long time in Montreal. So yeah, it's definitely amazing to see that. And you know, it would be, while it's cool to have bands from out of town, at this moment it was just the best thing to just do a all local fest. You know what I mean? Just to showcase all the bands and sort of give back to the scene within itself. And like Max said, the response has been really good, even from people outside of Montreal. Like we have the people from Steel City Hardcore.
Yeah.
These guys are coming too.
Oh
you
my
know, they're
God.
coming just to see the fest and support it. So shout out to them as well.
It's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
They better bring some orange long sleeves.
Oh yeah.
If you
I'm
know,
sure.
you know.
I'm sure they will.
Like a fucking gang rolling up. Well,
Yeah.
like I said, like thanks you guys so much for, I mean, you know, Tony and Ben especially for just carrying like the scene, whether it's like Harriers, Omega, Kosovo. What was the one? Nuke. Like these bands really, I think, carry a weight still in people's hearts that have like been involved in the scene. That Montreal is their hometown where they grew up and have been a part of the scene for a long time. And it's also thanks for letting space for people like me that moved to Montreal because it's such a fucking awesome city, and the scene is always super welcoming. It's like I meet people at shows, they start speaking French. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I want to communicate with you, but my French is not very good, and they don't give a shit because when you're moshing and you're singing along the fucking songs, you're not speaking to each other. You're just there with each other. So it's such a welcoming environment, and like the scene is thriving. It's awesome. So I think that this is going to be an awesome space for all these local bands. We're going to have like archiving of the whole thing, so it will live on the internet. Whether bands move on, break up, and form other bands, we'll have that moment in time where, you know, 2023, we had 20 local bands play a fest that hopefully sold out foofs. So, I mean, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Talking about selling out foofs. You know, we're doing it in the big room, right? Because the small, the cabaret would just be too small for all
At
the
this
people
point,
and all
it's
the
like,
bands.
You can't sell 200. It's only 200, like maybe 200 people.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it would be too small. But
Yeah.
so you know, we're so far we have a very good response. You know, we'll see. We'll see how it is, but I'm sure it's gonna be the best time. Like either way, it's just amazing how many people are into this and are coming to this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Spread the buzz.
yeah.
Exactly.
It's happening February 17th, 18th at Foofs in Montreal. Get your tickets. Bring your mom and your dad. We'll bring the wholesome mosh. That's it.
I like that.
Oh yeah.
That's it. What's the craziest hardcore show or story you have in Montreal? Go, Ben.
Crazy Hardcore show.
Like just the craziest thing you've seen in Montreal at a show.
I mean, when I saw Trapped Under Ice at Café Linco, like I'm not gonna lie, this was kind of there was like kind of a click in my head where I was like, okay, that's what hardcore is about. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That show was pretty insane.
Did you like front flip onto somebody's head?
I didn't front flip because the stage is like this high, but
Do it.
I had a good time. That's all I remember.
I think the United You Dead and Pat at the venue beside Trackside.
Oh,
Yeah.
Death House.
Death House.
Yeah,
It's
this house
still
was
on the-
tiny.
It's still on the maps.
Yeah. When I leave the show, I had a shoe print on my hat, so that was a.
You know the show was good
Yeah.
when you leave
Yeah.
with the show.
The show was pretty crazy. Yeah, it was a good one.
The craziest I've seen is actually Converge in 2001 at this venue called Lex. So for those who don't know, Lex was a venue that was right downtown on St. Catherine. It was like a cooperative type of place, all DIY, all ages. It was probably the best venue Montreal has ever had. And it was not that big. And there was like kind of a balcony going around the stage so people could like see the show from up there. And when Converge started playing, it was just like insane.
Madness.
Were people diving from the balcony into the crowd. They were just, I don't even know how to explain it. It was like a zoo. Like people were just all over the
Animals.
place. Yeah, people were falling on the stage, off the stage, on people. There was like, you ever seen a head walking?
Oh yeah, I love that.
There was a head walking the whole time.
Yeah, that's my energy.
Like
yeah.
people like front flipping into the crowd from the balcony. It was just insane. I
That's
actually
crazy.
got a rib broken at that show. Yeah, I got squeezed between like people because at the time I was like a little kid, I was tiny, and I got squeezed between some people like doing side to side and the crowd being scared as fuck. So I got squeezed between. I couldn't breathe. I had to get out of the pit, and then 5 minutes later I was back in the pit.
With a broken rib.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
I didn't know, like the adrenaline kicked in, and I was just like, I'm
Adren-
fine.
Adrenaline's a son of a bitch when you're moshing.
And then I almost died
Yeah. You almost
overnight.
punctured a lung.
Yeah, I woke up, I couldn't breathe in the middle of the night.
Fucking swollen.
Going to the hospital, like, what the fuck is going on?
That's insane.
But that show was absolutely nuts.
That's
Like,
sick.
yeah.
Like I said, Montreal Madhouse. If you want Montreal to be a zoo, make it a fucking zoo.
Dude.
Okay? It's called a
has to
madhouse.
be.
It's called a madhouse for a reason. Set it off. Madball.
Madball.
By the way, the Madhouse, the Montreal Madhouse name is a little reference. You guys know what it is?
Final word.
Final Word, that's right. The vocalist from Final Word, Nick, would say that a lot. When like in those like parts with a lot of thumbs going really fast.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Madhouse. Fucking Madhouse.
yeah, yeah. So it's a Montreal reference.
Cool.
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense
Yeah.
too.
I didn't need an explanation because I fully want there to be a madhouse. But that just makes it all the sweeter. Montreal Hardcore Collective, Max, Ben, Tony, thanks so much for hanging out, having some cafe.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
I have one last question before you go. We'll go one at a time. What's your favorite city for beans and breakdowns? We'll start with Max this time.
Again.
Oh, you already. Is it
Start with him so I can choose a new
Are
one.
you gonna choose a new one? Start with Tony.
Okay, repeat the question, please.
What's your favorite city for beans and breakdowns?
Favorite city?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll go with New York again.
You don't have to change it. It's good.
Exactly.
Explain why.
Yeah. Well, he already did.
Come on.
But,
Did you
for
listen
Tony's
to my
benefit-
episode, bro?
For Tony's benefit, explain. He remembers. He just wants to see if you remember.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's a
Testing
good
it.
question, though.
Why New York?
Just because I love this city, and yeah, can't wait to go back.
What's your favorite venue to see a show in New York?
There's this venue called Transpeco. It's like very sick. Yeah, I saw a couple shows there and like they were all good. So I like that venue a lot. Perfect size.
Cool. Do you remember a great cup of coffee you had or a great shop you visited?
I don't remember a coffee shop I visited over there, unfortunately.
There's some good ones I've been hearing about. Say,
Yeah.
S-E-Y.
Yeah,
They're supposed to have quality coffee.
nice. I'll check it out.
Yeah, and Long Island has good coffee too. Shout out Flux.
All right, I'll go next. Well, I would say Montreal, but I'm biased.
That's
but,
fine.
but I'll say New York actually too. Yeah, I don't want to copy Max.
Sister cities.
Yeah.
Sister cities.
Yeah, I
my
mean,
answer.
New York is great. Honestly, I can't tell you about a specific coffee place I've been to there because it's been a while since I've been to New York.
Mm-hmm.
But all the coffee I had there was amazing. And honestly, I've been there a lot back in the days. We used to play that venue, 538 Johnson, which it's a sort of like a punk loft type of place in Williamsburg, like in Brooklyn.
That's cool.
And oh yeah, the shows there were absolutely insane, absolutely insane. If you guys want to see some cool footage, just YouTube 538 Johnson, and then you see all the bands that played there. It's absolutely insane.
Check that out.
Yeah,
I will.
What you got, Ben?
I think I'd go with New England, like Worcester, and
Oh shit, you
Yeah.
going like Western Mass?
yeah.
Damn.
I think I don't drink a lot of coffee, but Breakdown's always been a good place in Massachusetts.
Yeah,
every
right.
That's
every road trip we did, and it's just an amazing place, I think.
So you like violence?
Yeah, I like that.
You like violence a lot. He's always choosing
I am
violence.
bored.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Thanks so much, guys. Again, having a cup of coffee. Super stoked about the Madhouse. Everybody listening, get your tickets. Check the description of this episode. There will be a link to where you can go to La Pointe Devant, buy some tickets.
You got it.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
by
yes.
the way, don't you have something to say about that?
What?
You're gonna be.
Oh yeah, I probably should say something about that. Yeah, Beans and Breakdowns. I'll be sponsoring it. I'll have a booth there with some cold brew, and we'll be doing the Madhouse blend. You can pick up
Yep.
only at the Madhouse. It'll be bags of whole bean coffee. That will be a special blend that I'm gonna do with Balance, Torrefactor.
So everyone can circle pit.
Yeah, circle
High on
pit.
caffeine,
Just
dude.
fucking get the beans and hand them out to people that are just eating coffee beans and
Throw
fucking
beans in the pit.
The snack on the beans.
fucking two-stepping on caffeine. So yeah, super excited to be a sponsor
Yeah.
along with Scoped Exposure. It's gonna be awesome. We're making Canadian hardcore as a whole strong.
Yes.
So
and awake.
and awake, fully caffeinated.
Yeah.
Nobody's
if I
sleeping.
could have, I would have done a chai, like some kind of fucking dirty chai thing for Spencer because that's his favorite drink.
Oh my god.
But I'm not a madman. So,
Well, thanks to you for that, by the way.
of course.
I was gonna say Beans and Breakdowns, favorite podcast ever,
Wow.
along with Scoped Exposure. So
Damn.
yeah.
This
No.
man is so Canadian.
Also, What It Takes.
Oh, yo,
Yeah.
what it to shout out Jack? Isn't that Jack's podcast?
I don't know the person running the podcast.
It's a blog, right? It's like a blog.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's Jack.
yeah.
Yeah. Solid dude.
Nice.
Shout out Richmond Hardcore.
Shout
yeah,
out.
man.
Shout out.
RVA.
RVA.
Yeah.
They've got a history of good hardcore too.
Oh, yeah.
But that's awesome. We can wrap this shit up. Thanks so much, guys.
Yeah.
All right,
Thanks.
thank you.
Cheers. Thanks for listening to this episode of Beans and Breakdowns. I want to say a huge shout out to Tony, Ben, and Max for hanging out on the podcast. It was so cool to be able to meet up at the Crew Collective Cafe, record this live over a cup of coffee. If you haven't already, be sure to get your tickets to the Montreal Madhouse February 17th and 18th at Fufun Alexis. You can find the link for the tickets in the description of this episode. Pick yours up now.
We will post the winner of the giveaway tomorrow on our Instagram, so be sure to look out for that. We'll also reach out to that person, obviously, in their DMs. If you've enjoyed the podcast, please subscribe and leave a review. You can find out more information about the podcast by following us on Instagram at Beans and Breakdowns or on the web at beansandbreakdowns.com. Be sure to check out the merch store. We have 2 designs up, the Caffeinated Crew and the Prisoner long sleeve, which is super hard with the chains down the sleeve. I love the design. I hope you guys do too. Well, until next week, be sure to stay caffeinated and wake the fuck up.